Whoosh. Welcome everybody to a show that is going to be so great it belongs in a museum. People, welcome to the movie review extravaganza. Hold on.
There you go. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tuscaloosa Coleman in the Temple of Fools. Dad, what are you doing here? Well, how are you doing, everybody? Welcome to the movie review extravaganza. I am Tuscaloosa Coleman, aka Corey. And my father, Dr. Thomas.
On the case.
Taught me everything I know over here. It's still a disappointment. So when Harrison Ford said that nobody else can play Indiana Jones but me, he meant that shit. He said, if I had to die playing this role, which is almost true. This man in his 80s, he's trying to take Indiana Jones to the grave with him.
Yeah.
He gonna be buried with that hat and that whip. But he meant that if I got to do this up into my 80s, then so be it. Make a movie. Let's do it. Because ain't nobody getting this from me. I heard y'all talking about Chris Pratt. You better stay away from my shit.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was a thing.
Cold dead fingers.
Get the out of my house. But yeah, man. A lot of people said it could not be done. A lot of people said that he could not do it. But against all of that, Indiana Jones is back. And we have Harrison Ford back playing this iconic, legendary character right here. And this time, unlike some of the other films, with every movie, this has been a few decades later, but we have him in the new era. We're here in 1969. And, we'll tell you about the plot in a little bit, but the question that this movie is kind of asking, is there room in this world? Does anybody even care about an old adventurer who has saved the world several times? I mean, do these old dirty ass hippies realize what this old man has done for all of us out here? We're gonna answer that. And even though, against all odds, Indiana Jones is back with Harrison Ford playing the role, still, is it a good movie? So let's go ahead and get into our review for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And we'll be back with Tuscaloosa Coleman in the review for Indiana Jones. What were you going to say?
I had nothing.
One looking at me like, what the hell you got?
Where you going with this?
Yeah, where you going with this? Where you going with this? Yeah. Give me the damn plug. I mean, I found treasures. I found God.
I half expected him to just throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Or just walk away.
Yeah.
What is this shit?
Yeah. I found gifts from God. Are y'all giving me this right here? Sure. Whatever.
That was before gift cards.
Retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
All my life.
Say what you will about these movies, but that theme, boy.
Yeah,
okay.
John Williams.
Yeah.
It's his swan song.
Yeah, you can't help but feel chills, man. I don't care what you think about that crystal skull out there. Oh, folks, let me just start out by saying this. Yes, Indiana Jones is on the cusp, and I'm talking about, yes, Harrison Ford, but Indiana Jones is on the cusp of 80. Maybe he is there by the time we see this movie. No, I don't know. They don't really say his age for sure. But I will say this. I love old Indiana Jones, man. I love old ass Indiana Jones. I really do. I tell you why, because Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford really are kind of the same people now.
Yeah.
Old and mad.
Yeah.
Old and grumpy. Yeah, that's at least that's how we joke about Harrison Ford. I hear he just smokes weed all day, so he's probably kind of mellow. But but
whenever he makes a public appearance, he comes across as grumpy.
Yeah, he just turned into a dog either. People asking questions. Hey, you're gonna be playing that Hulk series. They asked him the other day. They said, man, we heard you're gonna be in that Hulk show, man. Or no, it's gonna be the Thunderbolts. They said, man, you're gonna be in the Thunderbolts. And they asked him a nerdy ass question. They said, you gonna turn to Red Hulk? He's like, I don't know what that is.
Start turning to the Red Hulk.
You're getting bigger, bro.
Yeah, I love old Indiana Jones, man. And, it's because really, man, it would have been too easy to take the easy road with the old Indiana Jones. Make him still charismatic. Make him still somewhat of an old charmer. No, I love what they did with this character right here, because what they did with this character is, they made him sad. Yep. He sits at home all day in his little shitty Manhattan apartment, getting drunk in his drawers, on the verge of divorce, mad at the world.
Yeah.
Neighbors loud.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of loud hippies next door. He goes to his job to teach students who are not listening.
Oh yeah,
none of them listening.
Well, that's the thing with this, man. It's 1969, so he's sick of everything. Not everybody, everything. Those hippies next door making all that loud music. He's the guy. Get off my lawn. Shut up. Turn down that noise. Going over there with baseball bats. Yeah. Indiana Jones. I looked at that like, damn, he's old. He's an old man. Astronauts. It's 1969. Astronauts have landed on the moon. He's like, the moon. to hell with yelling at clouds.
Oh, the moon? Is that all?
Yeah, old man yelled at clouds. No, I'm not the goddamn moon. I'll see you up there. He's bitter, and he's so sick of everyone that you're right. He doesn't like teaching anymore. And that's the saddest thing, man, because if you're an Indiana Jones fan, if you love these movies, then you remember that day when we first met Indiana Jones, when he loved teaching class, because he had sex with half the students. What? Yeah, because if y'all remember, he would go to class and those girls would sit out there and they would fight to sit in the front row.
The undisturbed chamber and the grave goods that were found in another in the area gives.
Oh, he looking like, oh shit, she about to get me busted. I'm about to
keep it on the DL.
One more time.
I'm about to lose my job. You're like, oh well, time for another adventure. I better get
why he goes.
Yeah.
Get away from that
Dr.
shit.
Jones, can you come talk to HR? Whoops, gotta go. Egypt calls.
Yeah. Y'all need me to find some shit on the other end of the world. Because this chick done lost her damn mind.
Oh, gotta go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what we see with him today is a big contrast from that time. The students today, they're sick of him and he's sick of them. They're all bored. They pass out in his class. They sleep. It's way different from the Indiana Jones we first met, the first Dr. Jones that we first met. He's lost his passion. It's a sad state for one of my favorite characters, but I think it's a bold thing to do with that.
Yeah, and it's realistic. One of the few realistic things in the movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, what do you expect from a guy that's been, doing adventures for like over 30 years? I mean, even if he was very healthy, his body would break down anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, combine that with age, and that's what happens. Also, I don't know if anybody remembers the Indiana Jones Chronicles, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Sure, with River Phoenix?
Yeah, no. It was a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
It was an ABC TV show back in the day, and it was called Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. And they actually had an old Indiana Jones in there on certain episodes. Like every now and then, old Indiana Jones would come in. And this Indiana Jones, this old Indiana Jones that we have here is so much better than what they did with that old Indiana Jones back in the old TV show.
And the last thing I need at this godforsaken hour is some old bat who's too senile.
Apologize to the nice lady. Right now, I'll reconsider turning your head into a sausage.
He looked like a pimp.
Yes, he does.
He got a fur coat on, got those shades. Got a pimp cane. Look like he asking for his money right now. Bitch, where's my money?
It's probably 80-degree weather.
It's
and he must be 90.
Yeah.
95.
Yeah, it was much better what they did here than what they tried to do in that show. The thing with this is that the movie, it rubs in our faces. The Indiana Jones that we used to know, it rubs in our faces the state that he's in right now. Because the movie opens up with the Indiana Jones that we've always known and loved. The strapping adventurer who, in this movie right here, is the movie opens up with the end of World War II. and he's doing what he does best. Nazis.
Yep.
You know,
Punching him in the face.
Yeah, punching Nazis. You know, the Nazis are always stealing some artifacts, and he's always there to steal it back. There's probably not a day that goes by that Hitler would look at the sky about Jones. But
Hey, Indy, you gonna help save some Jews? No, I gotta get this spear.
yeah. And this is when we see, and this is where we get into the plot. When we see this, this opening here, you know, opens up with Indiana Jones trying to get back an artifact, something called the Archimedes dial from the great Archimedes himself, and he's trying to get it from Mads Mikkelsen, who is a guy that dude was born to play a Nazi.
Oh, for
Yeah, he
sure.
was.
I say, yeah, it's
He's
the
a-
first
he's a-
time he's played one.
I hear he's a nice guy, but I don't think he likes Jews, man. I'm just gonna say that right now. Shit, I think he popped out the womb talking about Zig Heil. Shit, his arm came out first. Shit, why is the arm sticking out your vagina? Talking about Heil Hitler. Yeah, man, this dude, he was born to play a Nazi, man. Whether he's a nice guy or not. This character is so committed as a Nazi. He even said Hitler was a bitch.
Yeah, right.
He said, "Why?" He's like, "Why are you doing this?" Because Hitler was soft. That's why. The first meeting between Dr. Jones, Indiana Jones, and this character here is a classic Indiana Jones set piece. You know, Indiana Jones escaping the clutches of Nazis. You know, with tough guy skills and cleverness, a whole lot of luck, some comic timing. You know, as always. And this all leads to an escape through and on top of a speeding train. And, you know, and I'm going to get into why I find this very refreshing. And I'm going to pass it on to you, see if you guys agree. Because with me, I think that in this time where we have blockbusters, so many now to the point where they're cannibalizing each other, and people are just not getting superhero fatigue, they're getting blockbuster fatigue right now. It is very refreshing to see a blockbuster like this defy expectations, because you have an 80-year-old action protagonist, not just a protagonist, an 80-year-old guy doing tons of action. Now, I'm sure it's not him, but but it's the character. You know, and the character, it's not only an old guy, it's an angry old guy. When you think about it, it has probably less brand tie-in opportunities than a lot of these other blockbusters out there. And I really, I like the fact that they've taken that approach right here. I like the fact that they've respected his age in this. You know, it's okay to say that his body is not what it used to be. He admits that his past adventures have left they broke his ass. He's like, shit, I've been getting my ass beaten, shot for like 30 years. What you expect, you know? So, and he's a lot slower. I think that regardless of what you think about this movie, I gotta respect that approach that they took, you know, and stood firm on that.
Well, I do appreciate the approach. I don't think it always works. It strains reality with some of the things he does, and just him being his age when it comes to running, he runs like an old man, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But then the result is he's catching up to people there's no way that could happen, or his punches wouldn't have the same impact that they did back in the day. And it's fun. You root for him, but there's still that part of your brain that's going, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
And there's also just the fact that he's older. Sometimes it gets pointed out too much.
I guess I didn't mind him being able to do those things, because Indiana Jones has always done death-defying things. I mean, the man landed in a refrigerator and survived a nuclear blast. It wasn't soup when they opened up that refrigerator door. I mean, he went miles up in the air. That I don't mind. And also, they did something that I think that has always been the appeal of this character of Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, when you think of Indiana Jones, you think of this tough guy. And he is tough, but not to the point where he's not vulnerable. I think a lot of people love Indiana Jones because in every movie, they have shown him to a certain extent to be vulnerable. He gets his ass kicked. He can't always fight back. Yeah. You'd be surprised at how many times Luck has been like, all right, man, here, pulled his ass out of it.
Right.
You know, when you even going back to Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one, they've shown several times that this guy is not a superhero. There are going to be times he's going to get his ass kicked, and if Luck didn't come in, he'd be dead. stupid ass. Huh? Oh, wait a minute. And I, looking at this piece, that's the propeller scene from the first Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the plane kills the giant Nazi. I can't tell if Indiana Jones is cringing or he's laughing at the.
Yeah, right. Oh, I think he's laughing.
Oh, you don't know what's coming for you, you stupid son of a bitch. So that's why I kind of forgave that. But I see what you're saying, because everybody's gonna have their threshold of what they accept.
Yeah.
With these movies.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm rooting for it. I wanted to go, and I like that. He does run like an old man, but sometimes, like, yeah, he's slower, so he's got to think smarter. It's like, well, he caught up to him anyway, so don't worry about it. It was like, all right.
Did you want to say something, Renee?
No, I agree as well. I really do. But I suspended belief more. I let it go because I really wanted it.
Yeah.
And when I realized how good it was overall, I was just like, okay, finally. This isn't Crystal Skull.
Yeah. You're just happy that there ain't no crystals or skulls in this.
I was. And actually, I found out from, I don't know if you guys watched The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
the part where Luke comes back.
Yeah.
He actually acted that scene out, and they put, digital nodes on
Yeah.
him. And
Okay, yeah.
they did the same thing for the first 15-minute sequence here for him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I thought it looked fantastic. I was
Oh yeah, that
thoroughly
CGI?
impressed. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
gonna
good.
I'm gonna agree with you on that, because that's one of the things that I've been hearing when this was at Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival. A lot of people were talking about the de-aging effects
Yeah.
on Harrison
Marvel.
Ford,
Yeah.
and I had no problem with it. It looked fine to me.
It looked good. It looked great
Awesome.
to me.
Yeah. Now if you want to close one eye and get up to the screen and really
Yeah.
look for something,
Yeah.
then okay. If you want to be an asshole about it, yeah,
You're gonna find
you're
something
gonna
there.
find
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Even I like us, because I purposely just said, this looks so good to me. Can I find anything?
Right.
Sometimes the lighting on the face might be a little off, but for the most part, I was like, you know what? If you want to nitpick, then you'll find something. Sure, you can do that anyway. But I thought for the most part, it was fine, man.
At the risk of being called an asshole,
Here we go.
and a nitpicker,
Pick away.
I thought as de-aging the technology goes, this is the best it's ever been.
I agree.
Oh, wow.
Agreed.
It comes on, and yeah, you just look at that.
It's getting
and
better
it's
and
like,
better.
yeah, clearly they're using it, but wow, it's gotten so good. This deep fake technology.
Yeah.
We we are this close to saying actors go on strike. We don't need you no more.
AI's gonna take over.
I did think it was one of those things, like they did it so well that I was like, man, you guys got it. Just don't linger on it. And I felt like, just kind of like with Rogue One with Peter Cushing, where it's like, this is so good. You got it. Just don't use it too much. And they felt like, oh, we got this. And there were just times where I was like, it's a little too like you're lingering too long. You're letting it go too much. You had it. Just don't keep putting it on there for us to keep watching it, because then you do start to kind of see a little bit of how unreal it is.
I look at these things today. If you can pull it off like they did here,
Yeah.
then great. Because even, and I hate to keep doing this, even going back to Raiders of the Lost Ark, you want to talk about effects that even you noticed at the time. There are certain effects that you noticed that were obviously effects in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Green screen effects that even at the time when you watched it, it's like, that's a goddamn green screen right there. You ain't up against that
Crocodile scene in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, there you go.
So fake.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Terrible.
When those crocodiles were eating dirty clothes.
And they're running and they're
Yeah. There's so many throughout the series. There's so many things that you can look at and say that's fake.
Yeah.
You're not really there. They're not really eating people. A lot of the prosthetics look bad in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So if I look at this, I just kind of compare it on the same level as that. When you try to make a complete CGI character, just today there's still just little imperfections and nuances that you're not going to get. De-aging right now is the way to go, because you're going to capture, like you say, a real actor with those imperfections, those little nuances, those little body ticks and movements that happen that a computer just still makes too smooth.
Right.
Because the computer's a perfectionist,
Yeah.
Right.
But as for the movie itself, I think it's a mixture of all the movies combined. Everybody's been saying it's this movie, it's that movie. I think it's to a degree, it's every movie that we've seen so far leading up to this. I think the least that you might have is Crystal Skull in here, but that's a good thing. And and for some cases, it's not such a good thing. If you ask me.
Yeah.
For one, every Indiana Jones movie has its classic Indiana Jones moments. You know, they have those moments where you got the map where you're traveling from location to location and you got that red line and those dots.
Yeah.
Did you hear some of the audience applauding when that happened the first time?
Oh, that dude.
I know.
Boy, there was a dude in there clapping for every Indiana Jones-ism. I want to throw something at
See,
it.
that kind of thing makes me hate when they do it.
Yeah.
Like when they
Yeah.
put it in the movie. It's like, all right.
And wanted everybody to know that because he
Yeah.
put his hands in the air and said, "Bravo, bro!" I was like, I thought I was the only one because I said, "Corey, calm down." You know,
You weren't the only one.
no one else notices this. And then when I got out in the lobby and people like, "Man, you hear that guy clapping?" I'm like, "Where that?" I will talk with him, but I'm gonna whip him with my whip. but yeah, you got that. You know, in these Indiana Jones movies, you got like the fun sidekicks. You always have the Nazis. You know, you always have a throwback to his fear of snakes. You know, I think every movie has had a callback to that in some kind of way. All that is here in this movie. So that brings me to my criticism of this film because, like I said, Indiana Jones himself. Maybe I'm biased because I love the character so much, but love those moments. Every time he was on screen, loved him. As far as the movie goes, so we have enough of these movies now that it feels like this movie here is just doing what it's expected to do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, I know. It's you took the other movies and ran it through an algorithm and it said, all right, make sure you do this, and this, and include these things.
If you told ChatGPT, write an Indiana Jones movie, they would do this.
It would be this one. Yeah.
Because instead of, it's doing all these set pieces and action pieces instead of letting the story tell itself. Now, again, y'all gonna be like, will you stop kissing Raiders of the Lost Ark ass? No, I will not. Because this is an important point right here. And you know what I'm saying? Because if you watch, the reason why I can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark 2 times in a row is because those action scenes, those set pieces, they flow naturally between the story.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
They don't seem so forced.
No, not at all.
And there's times when it breathes with just characters, like when he's sitting talking to John Rhys Davies. You know, you're getting a feel of everybody. But this movie's just moving, set piece to set piece to set piece. And also, like even with so many of the movies, and I just when you showed Cate Blanchett and Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
I mean, not Crystal Skull.
Raiders?
Last Crusade.
Oh.
Is that the one she's in? What?
Kate Blanchett was in Crystal
Yeah,
Skull.
she's a Crystal Skull. She's
Well,
a Nazi,
okay, even with her Crystal Skull. But you had villains that were, menacing. And here you got Mads Mikkelsen, who's like one of the best villainous actors who does it every time.
Right.
Agreed.
He's really kind of bland. He doesn't show up that often. And also, I did not care for the sidekicks.
Well, the sidekicks are just henchmen. They're just,
No, I don't mean his
No,
sidekicks.
he's talking about Indiana Jones
I'm talking
sidekicks.
about like Phoebe
No.
Waller-Bridge. As much as I love her in Fleabag, I just found her grating.
Well, yeah.
Because
Playing
she
the
spent the whole
goddaughter?
movie going like, "You're old, you're old, you're old, you're old." Like,
Yeah.
God damn. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. Well, listen, just to go back to the action scenes for a moment, I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking bad about these action scenes. I'm not. James Mangold, who's the director, who directed Logan, I think he did an amazing job directing the action in this film. He was able to capture a Spielberg spirit. As we all know, this is the first movie that Steven Spielberg has not directed. So he captured a very Spielberg spirit in these action scenes, but he wasn't trying to copy Spielberg.
Right. J.J. Abrams would have done a direct copy.
Hell yeah, he would have put
He would have left the dialogue.
lens flares would have been everywhere.
Yeah.
He would have shown it to Steven Spielberg. How's this?
Yeah.
Hey, Daddy,
How's this fucking-
How do I make it more like you?
Yeah. There's not a moment where there's not a Spielberg shot. It's not the moment where, there's a character standing there and there's a dolly or a zoom in on a character. He doesn't try to copy his directing style. He captures the spirit of these action scenes. And I would say that it's also helped by John Williams, his score.
Yeah.
John Williams' score here, that's a big help for giving it that feeling. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted her to hit a wall so hard.
Yeah, she's just annoying.
I wanted her to hit something and just fly through that windshield, man. talking shit while she driving.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll get in this character in a little bit. That's Helena, the character Helena. That's a godfather she talking to. They can give a shit
No
less.
respect whatsoever.
Not at all.
That's like me talking to you.
I wish you would. Now they gonna superimpose our faces in that scene. You better never talk to me like that girl talk to her granddad, her godfather. I'll run your ass right off the road the moment you leave. In fact, I might follow you out to your car. Daddy, who the hell you talking to, boy? These scenes, for one, they go on for a long time.
They're too long. They're cool at first. And just
There were a
drag.
couple times I was like, okay, come on.
Yeah, they go on for a long time, and there's so many of these scenes that they start to feel obligatory more than they feel like they're a natural part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get to a lot of these pop up like, okay, time for the Indiana Jones theme ride.
That's exactly what I thought with that.
Yeah,
Could have cut 30 minutes out easy.
if they had shortened some of these, you know,
Yeah.
we really had a moment where they feel like, all right, this is what sells the movie, so now they're putting more of them in there. This movie really is kind of missing the point of even Temple of Doom, man. As flawed as Temple of Doom is, there are scenes where they slow down and they have actual moments of story. Your villains are interesting. You know, that's not the case here. I like Mads Mikkelsen, but I agree. His henchmen are doing most of the work, and they're not that interesting.
No, they're not.
Although I did like it when Indiana he was talking about his son. I thought that scene was good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's the scene where they give some insight on some characters that you haven't seen for a while, and those scenes are pretty good. You know, it's not totally devoid of moments where they, you know, the characters actually have story or meaningful exchanges with each other. But those things, it's almost
short.
like they're short, and then they just run to
They're
it.
few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, can you guys wrap it up because we got an action sequence. Wait.
Oh yeah, no, because they'll be talking, and then they just jump right into it, and they'll be talking about some deep shit too. My wife let me.
Yeah, it would have been better if they cut 30 minutes of race scenes out. And
Oh, yeah.
It would have been more streamlined.
Yeah,
It
just
No.
focus on the
would have been a lot
story.
better.
No, there's moments where you have Indiana Jones actually talking to people, talking about my wife. She divorced me. She left me because I was like, shit. What time is it?
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you.
Like, you hear the theme music. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've lost my passion for teaching. Shit.
Pay John Williams. You have to pay John
And
Williams.
he's out the window.
Yeah. Hey, what were you saying? Yeah, man. It's you know, and then they have some other characters in here. I'm with you on the side characters here.
Especially that damn kid,
Boy,
boy.
but you got so I'm looking at some of the side characters here. You got Brown, Short Round
Yeah.
over here. Teddy.
Unibrow.
Yeah, this character named Teddy right here. And thing with Teddy is that I'm not annoyed by this kid. I don't think he's bad. He definitely is not Jurassic Park kid or Jurassic World kid bad. You know, those kids are just dumb.
Yeah.
The kind of kids you wish the dinosaurs would eat them.
Yeah.
And Teddy.
I like Teddy.
My computer don't like Teddy. Teddy is not bad.
But he doesn't make an impression.
That's the thing. Teddy is not bad, but he's not as fun as Short Round.
Alert from software update.
Even like I tell my computer like that. Update this kid. Not as fun as Short Round. It really feels like they just have him there to have a save the kid moment in here, and also to give the kids something to relate to. Speaking of kids, also, I don't know if this is a positive or a negative. It depends on who you ask. Kind of a negative for me. It feels like now that Disney has this, and now that they know that they're trying to push families to see this, it feels like they have made the series with this entry here a little more family friendly. Because you know that like we said earlier, if you were a villain in an Indiana Jones movie, you probably gonna get it bad. You gonna have a painful, agonizing, gruesome death. This is one of the things that made the series so fun.
True. This one feels a lot safer. At the same time, they do shoot and kill a lot of innocent people without even taking a second of remorse about it.
Oh, no.
Or anybody going like, oh.
There's one point where even Indiana Jones had to say, God damn it, remember these people.
Yeah.
You know, it's something here where I think they do kill a lot of people, but as far as like gruesome, you know, like graphic, bloody, agonizing deaths, you don't get that here. Phoebe, to what you were saying, man, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who plays the goddaughter Helena. Okay, so is there a positive here with her? Yes, I think she's a stronger and probably better female sidekick, because you were there to either be saved by Indiana Jones or have sex with him, or both.
Or both.
Yeah, that's what you had with like Kate Capshaw and Karen Allen. Yeah, and I know everybody thinks Karen Allen was cool because she drank you under the table, but really by the end of Raiders, man, she's just tied up and they got her drunk. She tried to escape, got her ass caught. Yeah. You know, she's been waiting on Indy to save her.
They're going to sell her.
Yeah, they sure were. They're going to hold her ass out.
They're going to sell her into slavery.
Yeah.
What the?
They're going to put her in sex slavery, yeah.
A white girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, her. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the benefits of having an older Indiana Jones is that, you know, ain't nobody trying to have sex with her. You know, it's not a love
None
interest.
Of that in this movie.
No, it's not. It's not a love interest. She's not there to be saved. She can stand on her own, and they're kind of like tough and stubborn. You know, so they're always bickering. But while she was funny in small doses, I could not stand her, man.
No.
She's you know, I found her selfishness annoying.
She had that British condescendingness.
Oh, shit, did. That constant arguing between them kind of got on my nerves. When you hear about why she's running because she's a criminal, and she's just using her uncle, I was like, what is that I like about this character? You know, now you can have characters bicker and argue. Short Round did it. That's what made the relationship between Sean Connery as Harrison Ford's or Indiana Jones' dad in the movie. That's what made that so cool, man.
Yeah.
But there was a chemistry there.
Yeah.
There really is not that much chemistry between these two.
No, there's not. It's just her firing at him and him just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. And I think
she's just snarky all the time.
I mean, from the beginning.
Pain in the ass too.
Yeah.
She's not apologetic for some of the things that she does. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just not a very likable character, if you ask me. I'll tell you, and what makes that even sadder for me is that they had characters that I think he should have been within the movie. Antonio Banderas. Mm-hmm. I think that should have been his sidekick through most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not on there enough.
No, he comes in as a cameo pretty much. He's an old friend that's taking him across the ocean, you know. So he's not in the movie very long, but I wish he had been because just for the little bit that you see them together.
I know.
I'm like, damn, in 5 seconds you got more chemistry than this girl right there.
He comes up, he says 2 sentences and you're already like, man, I wouldn't spend time with this guy.
Yeah.
Even the guy from Egypt, his old friend from Egypt.
Oh yeah.
Good too.
Oh yeah, he even said, "Man, take me, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, please.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He was on the first one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I tell you, I think that this movie does improve on past cringes. They all have done that. We were just talking the other day about Temple of Doom. Love Temple of Doom, but I know Temple of Doom has some problems, man. Mm-hmm. You know, it's very bad the way they make those Indians look in there, eating bugs and monkey brains.
Why? Because I'm going to puke in it.
You better get my hat back.
Oh, you not?
Yeah. Why would you even tell me that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and did burping and everything. You know, and the brown people who did have sense were probably in brown paint. They weren't even Indian.
Oh, they depicted them terribly.
Yeah, no, it was not. It was, you know, again, a product of its time. I get it. I'm not upset about it. But you know, I think when you have these movies, they have tried to get better.
Yeah.
I feel like really what's going to throw people off. Like if I had one thing, because I think some people will enjoy this a lot, and some others are going to be like, nah, just not for me, not the Indiana Jones I know. But I do think that the ending is what's really going to challenge people. Like if you didn't like Crystal Skull, then this is one that's going to test you because this shit is ridiculous.
It's a challenging ending.
Yeah,
but I appreciated it.
I liked it.
I respect that you went there. It ain't monkey swinging.
Alert from reminders.
Damn.
Hey, hey. It ain't monkey swinging, Nazi ant pulling, silliness that goes on, but it is out there.
Yeah.
And if you, there's some people that might be able to go with it because, like I said, at least it's trying to do it in a noble way, man. It's like
I thought that thing was kind of crazy, but I didn't know how the other movies went.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull is crazy.
They all kind of inch to it, but this one really stepped
Pushed
out
it
there.
over. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right, Martin. Yeah, this is gonna test you right here. So depending on how you like the ending of Crystal Skull, if you didn't like that, there's a chance. Let me warn you right now, you might not like this right here. Just telling you. Also, something that really, it's a small nitpick. I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm getting tired of Indiana Jones talking about, I don't believe in magic and mumbo jumbo. I said,
It's like, how many times you got to see?
all these years after the shit you said, I was like, what's it gonna take, man?
Yeah, right.
I'm about to pull a rabbit out of a hat or something.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
You take it to a 3-card Monte game.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, that's magic.
Yeah.
No, that card should have been there.
Yeah, I mean, take his ass to Vegas. His mind is blown. I tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating right now. I believe that this is not the send-off that this character deserves. This story could have played. I mean, if you're gonna play with an old Indiana Jones, the notion of that character, even with these cool, action pieces and set pieces that you have here, I think that story needs to serve that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. This felt like another standard Indiana Jones adventure. I'll tell you what this feels like. This feels like the Indiana Jones movie that you see just waiting on the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hoping that the next one might be slightly better, but you're fine with this one. And by the way, that next movie they're waiting on, we're not gonna get. Mm-hmm. This is it. So
yeah, you say that. When Harrison Ford dies, they'll reboot it the next day.
Maybe in a wheelchair.
Roll over in his grave.
Oh hell yeah! There's a chance they could do that.
They'll find another son somewhere.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully not Shia LaBeouf. Sorry.
Or they'll find an actor who can mimic, Harrison Ford and CGI's face.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And then we'll all be mad about it until we see the movie.
I say shoot, Star Wars did it.
Yeah, that's true. So, it's for now, I think it's, again, not the movie that this character going out deserves right here. It does have a nice ending. And if it is a theme park ride, it's a fun one. Like I always said about a lot of movies right now, if you can entertain me on the level of a summer blockbuster, even if it's not great, I'm okay with it. I'll wish for more, but I'll take what I got. So yeah, I give this just a plain matinee. It was enough. There was enough in here that I had a good time with. That I'm not going to go in and just. I feel like I would be nitpicking at the point where if I start trying to bring this down more, I'd be looking for things. I had fun, but yeah, I wish it could have been a whole lot better. But anyway.
Yeah, I guess what you'll get out of this might be what you expect, because there's so many people who've just been jonesing for a new Indiana Jones movie. Sorry.
You better be glad this whip is taped to my shoulder right here. I'll whoop your ass.
Well, but so many people have been wanting it and demanding it, and I was like, why? Just leave it alone. They're like, okay, we did Crystal Skull. You didn't like that. Just let it be. Nope, we got to have another one. We got to have more. So here you got it. And for those who really wanted that so bad, I mean, it's here. It's full of nostalgia and member berries. But there's things I didn't appreciate. Like you said, James Mangold giving it a different look.
Yeah.
That was cool. And seeing Indiana Jones, de-aged and age, his actual age, and dealing with that. I got to say that for the first 2 acts, and it's a long movie, it was kind of bland to me. Like you said, it's more theme ride than anything. And especially when you get to the chase scene where a tuk-tuk has the same horsepower as a German luxury car. I was like, it's asking you to suspend a lot of disbelief, but it's counting on your love of the character and nostalgia to go with it. I did like it better in the 3rd act. I first laughed out loud, but I was like, this is ballsy, and I like where it's going. And at the very end, it was sentimental, and I was like, man, what I'm getting here is what I wish I could have had more of throughout the movie. But so much of it was just felt like I'm just watching another blockbuster, and it's too bad that it can't be something special. I'm with you. It's a matinee, probably more on the low matinee side.
I was like, this is one of those movies where I really had to turn my brain off because none of this stuff is making any sense, you know. But I'll just say I did have fun watching the movie, especially for my first Indiana Jones movie. It doesn't make me want to watch any of the other Indiana Jones movies, but I still had fun watching this one. I'll give it a high rental.
Okay.
Watch the first one.
Yeah.
What's the first
Agreed.
one?
The
Yeah.
first one's the best one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
And some of the others aren't bad either.
Yeah.
You watch the first one, you'll want more.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Agreed. So I agree with everything you said about it's a little too long. I wish they shortened it a little bit, made it more, you know. But I loved it just because I like to go into a movie and just switch off and just escape. And so even for all its flaws, I still really enjoyed it. According to y'all's rating, I guess, I don't know if I would say just full price to see it on the big screen, you know.
Mhm.
So, because I think certain things you should see on the big screen, and I liked where it went at the end. I really did.
Yeah.
I was surprised it went there, and I was happy to see that. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. You know,
Mhm.
you realize, wait a minute, those aren't the right ships. So, yeah, you realize somebody messed up, and so I just like where it went. So, and I loved the last bit where I'm not gonna give anything away,
Yeah.
but it just to me brought it kind of together.
I'm gonna tell you this though, because I didn't want to say too much about the ending. That shouldn't even make any sense. They didn't even
None
know.
of this shit made
No,
sense.
well, no. Listen, I can take an old man flipping and running over everything because that's movie world. But when your story don't make it, they don't know how that shit worked at the end. They didn't try to. You know what I noticed about that? They didn't even try to explain what happened at the end.
Yeah.
It really was like, just shut up and go with it. We doing this anyway, all right? You can leave. I was like, man, y'all not gonna try to. This makes no sense at all. I mean, y'all didn't even try to explain it.
Nope. They just inferred that
Yeah.
somebody else took care of it.
And because we spent so much time on action just out of nowhere because they thought that's what the audience needed to get your money, you know, and also because we got this crazy ass ending, I'm gonna be the nerd that says, you know what? I don't think they spent enough time on puzzle solving. You know, man, the puzzles.
Man, you're right. They didn't.
None of that in the movie.
Well, that's what was cool about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You would the movie would stop to see him like crack a code or do a puzzle.
Yeah.
They got one of the lamest ass puzzles in here. I'm gonna show you real quick. My man said water displacement.
Water displacement.
That's a puzzle.
I wasn't even sure how that worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how it worked? He just threw a bunch of shit in the bathtub.
Right.
Water displacement.
People just drained the bathtub.
It's another
Yeah.
ride.
That's it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they just drained the sink.
See, that part did remind me of like Uncharted games.
Shit, that was you know what? It reminded me.
I mean, it didn't go all the way.
Well, it reminded me of a lot of games where I said, damn, this puzzle sucks. Yeah, we gonna do
It's
it.
like
Do
a
something
puzzle.
cool.
It's like it's a puzzle, but it says like you can skip it.
Yeah. Damn. Water displacement. Let's throw some rocks in the bathtub.
Again, watch the first one.
Go on over to dtmerch.com. Show some love to us by getting that merch that we have available for you. Check us out. Double Toasted live in Atlanta. That's going to be September 2nd for a night of comedy games and the after party that we have going on for you. That's going to be at the Marietta's new theater in the square. Hit that banner right there. It'll take you to x1entertainment.com/double-toasted. There it is right there. Get your all access packages on your VIP tickets to get in early. And also, you can get your tickets over at doubletoasted.com.